Ushtive and radiant peace and happiness to everybody. There has been much discussion on the Gmail Zoroastrianism list as well as the Facebook Zoroastrianism list as to whether or not Spenta Manyu and Angra Manyu are two different mentalities or two different spirits. Now, before I continue further, I'll explain what Spenta Manyu is and Angra Manyu is. Spenta Manyu meaning the progressive mentality or progressive spirit, the creative mentality or creative spirit, while Angra Manyu translates to the stagnant or dead mentality or spirit, or the destructive mentality or spirit. And sometimes I'll see some debates that get rather heated, but it seems to me that it's arguing semantics. I mean, my question is that it can be very hard to translate it into a modern language, like the language modern English that I'm speaking right now. Because like with archaic languages, like the Avesta language, oftentimes words have multi-layers of meanings. So my question would be, did the ancient Aryan or Iranian people, did they even see a difference between mind and spirit? Was there a separate word for mind as there was for spirit? Because let's just say that when the Gathas were composed, people saw things very differently. There weren't philosophers like Plato who promoted a sort of cosmological dualism that came out. And so I kind of lean towards the viewpoint that basically the same word for mind or mentality, Manyu, would also be the same word for spirit, that the ancient Aryan people, and when I say Aryan, I don't necessarily mean white people, that it's become kind of a loaded word, but people of the Arya tribe, where Zarathustra came from, that was between the Caspian and the, like over by the Caspian Sea. So, yeah, to me it just seems to be an argument of semantics, and it's kind of like I'll often see people in the Zoroastrian community giving sort of an atheistic view of Zoroastrianism, and that's all good and fine. I think it's ethics that makes someone Zoroastrian, not belief or lack of belief. But a lot of times I will see people say, well, Zarathustra didn't believe in superstition, therefore he didn't believe in miracles, that people can be healed through non-physical spiritual means. And are we really going to give like a post, like basically like a post Western Age of Enlightenment definition of superstition on how people viewed things thousands of years ago? Because different cultures at different times will have a different standard as to what is superstitious and what is not. And at least from what I've read of the Gothas, that a superstition would be an unsubstantiated belief which ultimately becomes self-defeating to the psyche. And so yeah, I'm leaning towards, it being that mind and spirit are the same thing. And what if, like I have no doubt that people see spirits, whether they're real or not, that's a different, that's doubtable. That's a different story. But I mean, what if what spirits actually are a sort of projection of thought, or a condensement of thought? I just have questions. I don't really have a set view. I've had certain experiences that, yeah, I could just look at the experience at face value and just just say, well, I saw it, therefore it's real. Or I could say, well, that's what I saw, but I know the full details behind it. So I think people, when they lose skepticism, but also when they lose openness, when they build dogma, that's kind of where they run the risk of stepping into the territory of deluge, which means falsehood or delusion. And so one must be wise and see themselves as a walking question mark if they want to be Osh compatible, if they want to be free from superstition. Because perhaps maybe if we think negative thoughts, they can create negative entity attachments to us, and our addiction to those thoughts could keep it attached. But perhaps maybe if we elevate our consciousness and make ourselves more present and alert, we become in attunement with Asha, and therefore more in attunement with Ahura Mazda, the greater totality of spirit or mind. So a lot of interesting stuff, and I think it's great that we have these debates on these forums, because none of us know the answer, but we could all chip in, put our own experiences in the bucket, plus our own discernment of these experiences, and just kind of put it all together, and maybe through the combination of the experience plus it being discerned by logic and reason, we can better discern what is good and what is wrongful, or what is righteous and what is wrongful, and better understand truth from delusion. At any rate, this was a longer video than usual. I could probably do a longer one, but yeah, just something to think about. Maybe mind and spirit are the same thing. Radiant peace and happiness to everybody, and Ushta Ve.